everyone. Wanted to pardon first. I'm on a bus, um, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about assessing the Walls family using the Bowen's family systems theory, and then also how it would apply in working with them. So when looking at the Walls family, and looking at Lori, Jeanette, Brian, Maureen, and then the parents Rex and Rose Wells. When you look at their dynamic, you can tell that it's very enmeshed, it's very fused, and there's a lot of over involvement with emotions. There's an emotional dependency, and just looking at like when I was looking at the movie, how like there was so many points where, for example, how Jeanette, like, she wanted to leave, right? And the dad was like he was acting like a child, as Jeanette said, and then she started getting overwhelmed and feeling all these emotions, and even when Jeanette and the rest of her siblings were kids and they would be constantly moving around. I remember this one scene from the movie where Jeanette was asking why she can't go to school, and the father just went off road. And I remember, like, I think it was Brian that was saying, "You're gonna kill us," but then they all got excited because the mom and dad, Rex and Rose, they were super excited and acting, like, elated, and just like that emotional dependency throughout the whole movie, how they would be constantly moving around, and there's that chaotic pattern, and in the Bowen's theory it talks about like the nuclear family emotional process, and it talks about projection, and for example, like in looking like for an application, like with the Bowen's theory, you can do like the family genogram. And so like the family members, like Jeanette, and like the other siblings, they can do like a family genogram and see like that pattern that has been going on in their family. And like, for example, in Rex's side of the family, like they lived in a very poor town. Welsh was very poor, and Bowen talks about societal regression and how, because everyone is trying to achieve differentiation, but there's such a high level of distress and anxiety, that they're not able to achieve that differentiation of self, and then it just continues to project with everyone. And I remember, like, in the movie where it showed that they had to leave the house because Rex punched no, he didn't punch. He did a chokehold on the pool guard, and Jeanette was frightened. And then because of that, like, Rose said that the cops were looking for them and everything, and he didn't want to leave to go back home. But as like they're all in the car, like Jeanette goes out and is with him in that, and was able to convince him to go in the car for them to go to Welsh. But it was very interesting to see like the dynamic, like just like looking up like at the family genogram at Rex's mom, Irma, and how she was very abusive. And like Rex, like with his family, he's very strong, and he talks a lot, and he shows himself as like not only like the head of the household, but not being afraid of anything. But when he goes home and like they're all sitting at the dining table, even when like Brian, he spit out his veggies, and Irma hits him in the back of the head with a spoon, the dad doesn't say anything and he stays quiet. But like in looking at the scene, like he looks very like distressed, right? And just like different scenes, like with Jeanette and how you can tell she has so much unresolved trauma as like her and her siblings like left home, and there was that emotional cutoff, right? To distance themselves from all that unresolved trauma. So in like learning how to apply it, I would say learning how to apply it to them now, like as like Rex has passed, like he passed away because he was dying. Jeanette, like at the end, she realized that she was not being her true self, and let David know, her fiance know, I'm at the dinner. And like in the chapter where it talks about in Bowen, it was like a pretend self, right? Like the pseudo individuation, and it was a false self that she was putting on, according to the circumstances that she was in, and like picking up, like for example, like David, like how he lived his lifestyle, and like when the dad came to the house uninvited, he told her like, why is your thing still in boxes if this is how you want to live? And so like, she slowly started to realize that. But yes, in looking at like how to apply it to them, psychoeducation is really important. Teaching them about like enmeshment, about triangulation, and how like triangulation with the parents and Jeanette, and how like the dad would go to her and like talk to her, and also like in developing like a differentiation of self where they're able to be present for each other but be emotionally separated, and have that healthy detachment, being able to set healthy boundaries with the rest of the family, with the group, with the family members, and then also providing like assertiveness training. And so like for Jeanette, it was really hard for her to tell her dad that she was going to get married, and so like for her and like the rest of the siblings, like teaching them how to express themselves, how to express how they feel, how they think, using I statements, not only for them to take accountability of their emotions and their their cognitions, but also motivating and encouraging the rest of the family members, being like, oh, like if they can express how they feel, then maybe I could express how I feel. And also providing like emotional regulation, like teaching them how to manage their negative emotions, and being able to regulate that in like the different circumstances that they may be in. But yeah, Bowen provides like a very much promotion of the differentiation of self, and like for them to be able to talk, to like the therapist, like us as the therapist, asking them open-ended questions, and like the person-to-person relationship that was talked about earlier in the slide, how like there was that moment that Jeanette and Rex were able to just relate to each other, was so beautiful. And like in being able to maybe do like a role play like within the therapy session, for like some of the other siblings. But those were some of the things that Bowen, like looking at the Bowen's theory and how you can apply in working with the Walls family. Thank you.